U.S. forces seize fleeing Russian-flagged oil tanker in North Atlantic. China enters high-speed stealth fighter production era as twin J35 fifth-generation jets. Malaysia to buy Turkey-built multi-purpose mission ship. Morocco's US $18 billion F-35 ambition signals a historic shift in North African air power balance. Taiwanese F-16V crashes into sea during training flight. Breaking news from the North Atlantic. U.S. Special Operations Forces just seized a Russian-flagged oil tanker in international waters, and Russia is not happy about it. This is the Marinera operation, and it's escalating tensions between Washington and Moscow. Here's what went down. On January 6th, U.S. military personnel and Coast Guard teams boarded the Marinera, a Russian-flagged vessel that's part of what's called a shadow fleet. These ships secretly transport oil for sanctioned countries like Russia, Iran, and Venezuela. The operation involved the Army's elite 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers, using MH-6 Little Bird helicopters. Flight tracking showed multiple aircraft converging on the ship's position. The Coast Guard cutter Monroe had been pursuing this tanker for weeks across the Atlantic. Here's the twist. The ship was previously called the Bella 1, but the crew literally repainted it and flew a Russian flag to avoid capture. When the Coast Guard first tried boarding on December 20th, the crew refused and fled back toward Europe. Russia even deployed a submarine and naval vessels to escort it. This operation is part of President Trump's larger strategy to control Venezuelan oil. The same day, U.S. forces boarded another tanker, the Sophia, in the Caribbean. Trump announced Venezuela will hand over up to 50 million barrels of oil to the United States. Russia's calling this illegal and violating international law. One Russian official even threatened to torpedo U.S. patrol boats. The White House fired back, saying they won't tolerate sanctioned oil transport and the crew faces federal prosecution. This marks a significant escalation in U.S. enforcement of oil sanctions and could strain already tense relations with Russia. The Marinera is now being escorted to U.S. waters. China just made history. Two J-35 stealth fighters flew together for the first time, not prototypes, but actual production aircraft ready for combat. This changes everything in the Pacific. The era of American stealth dominance may be ending. Here's what you need to know. On January 6, 2026, Shenyang Aircraft Corporation released footage showing two production-standard J-35 fifth-generation stealth fighters taking off in perfect formation. That metallic green coating? That's the primer used on pre-delivery aircraft, confirming these aren't test models. They're combat-ready jets rolling off the assembly line. China claims they're entering high-speed mass production, projecting over 100 aircraft per year. To put that in perspective, only the United States has produced fifth-gen fighters at that scale. China now operates two distinct stealth fighters, the J-20 and J-35, making it only the second nation ever to achieve this, alongside America. With the F-22 and F-35, the J-35 evolved from the FC-31 demonstrator first seen in 2012. It's powered by indigenous WS-19 engines, carries advanced sensors with 200-kilometer detection range, and can haul long-range PL-15 missiles internally. It's designed for electromagnetic catapult launches from carriers like the Type 003 Fujian. This is a game-changer for naval power. The J-35 is China's first carrier-capable stealth fighter, directly challenging American F-35s across the Western Pacific. It extends China's reach beyond the first island chain into the Philippine Sea. Japan's already accelerating F-35B purchases for its carriers in response. India's watching nervously as reports suggest Pakistan could buy 36 to 40 J-35s for up to $8 billion. Middle Eastern and Eastern European nations are showing interest too. Analysts warn that by 2030, widespread J-35 deployment could erode the technological edge Western air forces have relied on for decades. China's expanded Shenyang facilities by 35% and built a massive 270,000 square meter production plant. They're betting big that production speed itself is now a strategic weapon. The tandem flight isn't just a milestone, it's a message. China's stealth fighter program is irreversible and scaling fast. Malaysia is making major moves in the South China Sea. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim just arrived in Turkey to finalize a deal for a new multi-purpose mission ship, marking a deeper defense partnership between Kuala Lumpur and Ankara. On January 6th, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim landed in Ankara for a 3-day official visit. According to Turkish defense outlet Savunma Sanayi ST and Malaysian news agency, Bernama Malaysia is expected to sign a letter of acceptance for a Turkey-built multi-purpose mission ship during this trip. The deal involves STM Shipyard, one of Turkey's leading defense contractors. This isn't Malaysia's first rodeo with Turkish shipbuilders. In mid-2024, Malaysia signed a contract for 3 Ada-class corvettes under the Royal Malaysian Navy's Littoral Mission Ship Batch 2 program. These warships are serious platforms, 9.56 meters long, 2,500-ton displacement, equipped for anti-surface warfare, anti-air warfare, asymmetric warfare, and electronic warfare. The first LMS Batch 2 corvette had its keel laid at Istanbul Shipyard in April 2025. It's expected to launch by mid-2026 and be delivered to the Malaysian Navy by end of 2027. That's fast turnaround for modern warships. But here's where it gets interesting. Malaysia isn't just upgrading its navy. In May 2025, the Ministry of Home Affairs signed a separate contract with Turkey's Dezan Shipyard to build another multi-purpose mission ship. This one for the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, essentially the Coast Guard. This vessel will handle patrol and security operations, particularly in the contested South China Sea. So why is Malaysia turning to Turkey instead of traditional suppliers like the US, UK, or France? Several reasons. First, cost-effectiveness. Turkish ships deliver capable platforms at competitive prices. Second, fewer political strings attached compared to Western arms deals. Third, Turkey offers technology transfer and local assembly opportunities, which helps Malaysia develop its own shipbuilding industry. Turkey markets various MPMS designs, from large amphibious and logistics support ships to smaller high-speed patrol vessels configured for surveillance, unmanned systems deployment, and interceptor operations. Malaysia can essentially customize based on mission requirements. This partnership signals Malaysia's strategy to diversify its defense suppliers while rapidly modernizing its maritime capabilities amid growing tensions in Southeast Asian waters. With China asserting claims throughout the South China Sea, Malaysia's building a fleet that can actually patrol and defend its waters. Morocco is about to make history. The North African kingdom is negotiating an $18 billion deal to become the first African nation to operate F-35 stealth fighters. This changes everything in North Africa and sends shockwaves through the region. Morocco is in advanced talks with the United States to acquire up to 32 F-35A Lightning II fighters in a package worth $17 to $18 billion over the aircraft's full life cycle. That's roughly 80 to 85 billion ringgit. This would make Morocco only the second Middle East North Africa nation to operate fifth-generation stealth fighters, after Israel. President Trump gave a major hint this was coming. In November 2025, while meeting Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Trump said he believes trusted partners should get top-of-the-line equipment, not planes of reduced caliber. Defense analysts interpreted this as a green light for F-35 exports to reliable allies. The F-35A brings stealth technology, the advanced AN/APG-81 AESA radar with 200-kilometer-plus detection range, sensor fusion, and precision strike capability exceeding 1,200 kilometers. Morocco would transition from traditional air defense to effects-based operations, dominating the battle space before adversaries even know they're there. This deal has deep roots. Morocco became a major non-NATO ally in 2004, giving it preferential access to advanced U.S. military tech. The 2020 Abraham Accords were the game changer. Morocco normalized relations with Israel in exchange for U.S. recognition of Moroccan sovereignty over Western Sahara. That diplomatic breakthrough removed political barriers to high-end technology transfers. Since then, Morocco and Israel have established intelligence sharing, joint training, and defense cooperation frameworks. Crucially, Israel isn't objecting to this sale. Why? Morocco is seen as a defensive status quo actor focused on territorial defense and Sahel security, not threatening Israeli interests. Plus, Israel's F-35I Adir variant has unique modifications and classified systems Morocco will never get, maintaining Israel's qualitative military edge. Geographic separation helps too. Morocco's focused on the Atlantic, Western Sahara, and the Sahel corridor, not the Eastern Mediterranean. This directly counters Algeria, Morocco's regional rival. Algeria operates Russian Su-30s, Su-34s, and reportedly wants the Su-57. But Russian jets can't match F-35 stealth, sensor fusion, and first-look, first-kill advantage. Morocco's defense budget jumped from $12.4 billion in 2024 to $13.3 billion in 2025, with more increases expected. They're also buying AH-64E Apaches, M1A2 Abrams tanks, and MQ-9B drones, building a fully integrated multi-domain force with the F-35 as the command node linking everything together. This isn't just a weapons purchase, it's a generational shift in North African air power and a powerful signal of Morocco's deep alignment with the United States. If approved by Congress, Morocco leaps into an elite club of stealth fighter operators. Taiwan F16V fighter jet just crashed into the sea during a nighttime training mission, and the entire fleet is now grounded. With tensions soaring across the Taiwan Strait and China ramping up military pressure, this couldn't come at a worse time. Tuesday evening, around 6:17 p.m., a single-seat F-16V Block 20 took off from Hualien Air Base on Taiwan's eastern coast for routine night training. Just over an hour later, at 7:29 p.m., contact was lost. The aircraft went down approximately 10 nautical miles east of Fengbin Township in Hualien County. The pilot, Captain Hashimpoyi, is believed to have ejected before impact. He's 29 years old with over 600 total flight hours, including more than 370 hours specifically on the F-16V. So this was an experienced pilot, not a rookie. Rescue operations involving the Air Force, Coast Guard, and airborne teams launched immediately and are still ongoing. Here's the critical part. Taiwan has grounded its entire F-16V fleet pending a full investigation. That's a massive operational hit. The F-16V is Taiwan's most advanced fighter, upgraded with cutting-edge radar, avionics, and weapon systems, specifically to counter Chinese threats. This isn't the first time. In January 2022, another F-16V crashed off Taiwan's west coast, killing the pilot. These incidents raise serious questions about aircraft reliability, maintenance protocols, or training procedures during high-stress operations. The timing is particularly concerning. China just showcased its J35 stealth fighters entering mass production, and Beijing's been conducting near-daily military incursions around Taiwan. Now Taiwan's premier air defense asset is sidelined. Taiwan operates about 140 F-16ABs that were upgraded to the V standard plus 66 new-build F-16Vs on order from the United States. Grounding the fleet, even temporarily, creates a significant capability gap that China could potentially exploit. Taiwan's Air Force is already stretched thin from constant scrambles against Chinese aircraft crossing the median line. Losing F-16V availability, even for a few days or weeks, impacts readiness during the most dangerous period in cross-strait relations in decades. As rescue teams search for Captain Shin, investigators will be examining maintenance records, flight data, and mechanical systems. The big question: was this mechanical failure, pilot error, or something else? And how quickly can Taiwan get these jets back in the air?